If there's one thing that you can count on when it comes to Disney Star Wars over the past decade plus, it's that if you think it can't get any worse, it always can. And despite the failures we've seen with things like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, Mando Season 3, whatever you specifically think is the biggest disaster they've had, nearly everyone is looking at the upcoming series, The Acolyte, and saying, you know what? If there's something that can be worse, it's probably going to be this. The series that was introduced and promoted as a female-focused Star Wars show that was really meant to put women front and center, as if we haven't seen that in Disney Star Wars enough over the past decade. Led by Leslie Headland, the activist, former Harvey Weinstein personal assistant, who admitted that she wanted her experiences as a lesbian to shine through in The Acolyte. And of course, every single actor or actress they interviewed, all they talked about was identity politics, including the lead actress, Amandla Stenberg. Amandla Stenberg on how The Acolyte has now made sci-fi safe for black nerds. What a groundbreaking achievement, you know? Finally, we have representation in science fiction because of the Acolyte series. Now, this, of course, is the same person. You know, Lucasfilm hit the grand slam of woke identity politics, black, lesbian, non-binary, self-described intersectional feminist Amandla Stenberg. And we recently found out that Leslie Headland specifically made this show for her. For years of development, it was with her in mind. Not the best person for the job and said, hey, we're going to make it, and then ask her to do it, and hopefully she says yes. Of course she did. But now we're finally hearing more about this stuff. Not only did we get a release date, June 5th, despite the fact that there's been no publicly available promo trailers or anything like that, June 5th reportedly is when The Acolyte is coming to Disney+. And now, the lead actress herself is giving us some details about just how this is going to fuck up Star Wars more than it already is. The Acolyte, Amandla Stenberg shares new details about upcoming Star Wars series. And it's in this big piece here in magazinec.com. Meet Amandla Stenberg, Star Wars New Hope. Yeah, yes, the new hope for Disney Star Wars is Amandla Stenberg. Now, this, of course, goes over how politically active she is and how she's a feminist activist and how, you know, being part of LGBTQ activism is so important, about how she's non-binary, all those things. Finally, they actually do get into Star Wars. Stenberg can't share too much or anything really about the plot of The Acolyte because Lucasfilm's NDAs are notoriously restrictive. What she can say is that it takes place in the High Republic era before Episode 1, which released in 99, grossed just shy of $1 billion worldwide. It's a prequel to the prequels, if you like. Lucas famously started his epic tale in 97 on Episode 4, A New Hope. Here's the quote. In the context of the Star Wars universe, it's a time of great peace, theoretically, Stenberg says. It's also a time of an institution. It's a time when conception on the Force are very strict. And I think what we're trying to explore within our show is when an institution has singular conception of how power can be used. We try to provide a lot of different perspectives and answers to that question. The idea is to kind of honor the ethos of Star Wars and ideas around the Force, and also challenge them, hopefully harmoniously. Now, you know what? Maybe in the right circumstance, if Disney was going down the right path, they had actually talented people that knew what they were fucking talking about when it came to Star Wars, people who actually cared about Star Wars and weren't just trying to fill it full of their own activist bullshit. You know what? I could maybe see myself sitting in front and being like, hey, what are they going to do with this? How are they going to tell this type of story? Unfortunately, that has not been the case when it comes to Lucasfilm, when it comes to Disney. And the idea of them saying, you know, we kind of want to honor it, but at the same time, challenge everything and hopefully do it in a way that's harmonious. I think most people understand what this is probably going to be. It's probably going to be a desecration of lore. The idea that they're involving the Sith in this to begin with, 50 years before Phantom Menace. You're supposed to be telling this story when Darth Plagueis is around, all this shit. You know it's going to be a lore nightmare. It's going to be a disaster. Then when you combine that with the fact that everyone they've hired for this is an activist, both when it comes to writing, the showrunner, everyone, and they're open about it. Like when they had all the cast up there for Star Wars Celebration, those videos got completely ratioed on Star Wars' own YouTube channel because all they talked about was representation and diversity. And it's clear they have no concept of what Star Wars actually is. So if these are the people that are in charge of telling us this story that is supposed to, you know, honor what the Force is in Star Wars and the ethos of Star Wars, but also challenge all of those things, hopefully in a harmonious way. I don't think too many people have very much faith. And most people believe this is going to be an absolute fucking disaster. What do you guys think about this? A few more details on The Acolyte from the star herself. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.